All right, we should be live, should be good to go for another day of pretty much everything going on. Parliament still closed for the winter break. Still, and it will be that way for the next 6 weeks. We have a Nick Shirley video to get into. We have more Markham Unionville residents very upset. Very, very upset, and rightfully so, after Michael Ma crossed the floor. It looks like Markham Unionville is a conservative stronghold, and a lot of people there don't want that area being represented by liberals. So I guess we will see what happens if Michael Ma resigns. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt he would do that. But I guess anything is possible. We'll get right into this Nick Shirley video, and then we'll make our way all the way down the line.
Or deportation took place. What do you think about the current state of America?
Because we have not had assimilation with this immigration, it's just really become an invasion.
Why is my son wanting to learn how to load up a silencer? Because you're hurting people. No.
So you've got the hardcore left wings that just aren't happy with anything, and it's quite frankly, it scares me.
What do you think about the current state of America, sir?
Goodbye, fascist.
What makes me a fascist, sir? And how do you feel like Trump's second term has gone so far? Today, we're going all across America asking Americans about the current state of America. Right now, you have lots of things going on within the nation, from ICE raids to the rise of Islam, to Republicans turning on MAGA, and also Democrats calling Republicans fascists and Nazis. And you even have National Guardsmen who have been killed by illegal migrants on the streets of Washington, D.C. And right now within the Democrat Party, no one really knows who their leader really is. On Polymarket right now, as far as who's going to be the next nominee, it goes from Gavin Newsom to AOC. A lot of people wonder what's the current state of the Democrats as well. But
Gavin Newsom or AOC? Oh my God. They're in a really bad position right now. Because J.D. Vance is most likely going to be the next person to run for president, I would assume. He's the strongest candidate, I believe, personally, but he's most likely going to do so. And when you look at the Democrats, they just don't have anybody. You have Crockett, potentially, or AOC, or Gavin Newsom. All terrible track records. Gavin Newsom literally destroying California when the wildfires were happening, or wildfires were happening. The lack of care, the lack of help, that was a terrible situation. And he got destroyed for it, rightfully so. Absolutely. Sup, liberal resigning. Really? Breaking news? Breaking news? I can do the agenda-free TV. Breaking news! Breaking news! Let's see. Liberal MP resigning. Quebec Liberal leader has decided to resign after weeks of turmoil. I called it. I've been calling this from the get-go. The Liberals are not playing well with Quebec, and it's going to bite them. And they have 44 Quebec seats. They have 40, a lot of seats are in Quebec. And they could drop like flies. They could drop like literal flies. Quebec Liberal leader has decided to resign after weeks of turmoil. This is coming from the Radio Canada. Pablo Rodriguez, former federal MP and cabinet minister. So, like, he's gone. He's not, like, just resigning from cabinet and staying in caucus. Like, he is gone 100%. Rodriguez is set to meet with party members later today after allegations of illegal campaign donations. It is alleged that the host of a fundraising event handed back $500 in cash to roughly 20 people who could not afford the entry price. Holy crap. Holy crap. They were handing out their own money. That's crazy to get voters or to get people in at the fundraiser. Allegedly. Allegedly. Such a scheme is illegal under Quebec's election laws. Wow, this is one of the many, ladies and gentlemen. This could be the beginning. This could be the beginning. Wow, we switched gears. We switched gears very, very hard right now because we were Nick Shirleying it up, as you could say. And now it looks like this guy is gone. He is gone. And he is the Quebec Liberal leader for Quebec. It's not good. It's not good for the Liberals, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, the cracks have fallen. Here we go. It's happening. It's happening. The move comes after weeks of turmoil within the Quebec Liberal Party, as I've been calling time and time again. Jeez, man. That's why Poilievre was hitting home on Quebec issues. The Bloc Québécois have a serious chance if the election were to come spring or summer, they have a serious chance to decimate the Liberal Party. The liberal activists who want the climate stuff, but Mark Carney is playing games, they're gonna jump ship to the Bloc or the NDP. And the Bloc or the Quebec Liberals that were probably Bloc before, potentially, you never know, right? They want what's best for Quebec. They don't care about the rest of the country. Mark Carney has pandered to one too many sides, and it is cracking. It is falling apart right before our very eyes. And the polls, yes, I've seen this as well. The polls are now saying the Conservatives are ahead with a potential majority because the Liberals have pandered to one too many people. You can't say to Alberta, oh, we're going to build this beautiful pipeline and remove all these regulations and restrictions, and then also go to your climate crazies and say, don't worry, everything's fine. We're not going to do that. Things are going to fall apart. Things are going to crack. That's exactly what's happening. They were pushing for weeks straight how the Conservative caucus was in shambles and Pierre Poilievre's leadership was falling apart. Okay, a couple MPs resigned, but now this is the beginning for the Liberals right here. And it starts with the Quebec Party and it ends with them. They have a serious chance to make a wave here for themselves. Whether it's gaining a couple seats back or a large amount of seats back to the point where they were before the previous or the election that just happened. I don't know about the NDP. I have a feeling the NDP might gain one seat, maybe one, but the Bloc will be the deadly blow there for the Liberals. It'll be the death-dealing blow. Absolutely. Crazy news. This is happening right now. Literally right now. Turmoil within the Liberal caucus. I gotta make a video on that after this live stream, I guess. I uploaded a video of Vashi Kapelos calling out Elizabeth May. Elizabeth May is so out of touch. She's so out of touch. It is mind-numbing. It's very mind-numbing. Who cares about the NDP? That's a very good point. That's a very good point. But the reason I bring up the NDP is because they have a chance to steal seats from the Liberals, and that would be the only time I'm like, all right, I guess let the NDP have a couple seats back, as long as it comes directly from the Liberals, which it would, because that's where all their seats, they stole them from them, right? They're cracking. They're falling apart. They are falling apart.
Today, we're going to be going all across the country from New York City all the way to Hawaii. We're going to be asking people about the current state of America. Let's get into it and let's start here on the streets of New York City. Let's go. And what do you think about the current state of America right now?
I think it's a mess.
And why do you think it's a mess?
Because we have an idiot for a president.
Would you consider Trump a fascist?
Absolutely.
And what makes him a fascist in your opinion?
He's killing people in Venezuela without any reason.
Do you think we should push for a regime change in Venezuela?
I don't really know much about I can't make an opinion on that. I don't really understand the Venezuelan thing. All I know is he's just, without Congress's approval, he's killing people.
And who do you think is the face of the Democrat Party right now?
I would say Hakeem Jeffries.
And who do you think will be the next president here in the United States? Between J.D. Vance and potentially Gavin Newsom right now, who do you think's going to win?
I would vote for Gavin Newsom, obviously.
And what do you think about the ICE?
And J.P. Pritzker.
Should Trump be using the National Guard to protect the United States in cities like Chicago?
No. The National Guard are to defend the borders, not to defend the citizens.
What do you think about the current state of America?
Not ideal.
What would you do to fix it?
Dismantle the federal government?
And right now, between the Republicans and Democrats, who do you trust more?
Neither. Traditionally, Republicans used to want to dismantle the federal government more, although now I think they just redo it towards military spending. I think the best solution would be like a libertarian type solution, but you know, they're not very popular.
What do you think about the current state of America?
It's awful.
And why do you think it's so awful?
Because you think we'd be in a more progressive era, but like we're not. We're like regressing, like we're going back.
Do you think we should be more progressive with some of our policies here in the United States?
1000%.
For instance, should we be deporting illegal migrants?
No.
And what should we do? It's a big topic right now. For instance, we're just a few blocks away from Canal Street where lots of raids have taken place. What should we do with people who are coming into the country illegally?
I think we have bigger issues to worry about. You know, we do have a really bad homeless crisis. I work in criminal court, actually. The majority of people that are getting arrested are American citizens and people that are like getting arrested for like petty larcenies, you know, which is just like they're stealing toilet paper because they don't have the money to pay for it, or like food. So I don't think that's...
should we allow petty crime just to go by?
I think there's something that needs to be done. There's clearly an underlying issue.
And here in New York City, do you think people should have more hope now that Zohran Mamdani has been elected?
I would like to think so, but I'm big on, you know, actions speak louder than words, so let's just hope he does something.
These people are so brain dead. These people are brain dead. They voted for a guy who's claiming to give them free everything, and then a month in after he was elected, is sitting there begging for money. You guys, you played yourself. The absolute fools that live in New York. Oh man. What a shithole.
And what do you think about Zohran Mamdani's meeting with President Trump? They seem pretty friendly.
I mean, he has to keep it cute, you know? It's politics. Obviously, our president can't do so, but we have to keep it cute.
Just the other day here in New York City, an ICE raid took place here on Canal Street. Right now you have a group of people protesting. Let's see what they have to say about the current state of America. What do you guys think about the current state of America?
Where are you all from?
My name's Nick Shirley.
This guy's a real provocative.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And so what do you guys think about the current state of America right now? We're outside of where an ICE
I'm
raid
actually
took
gonna
place.
go dry off.
Thanks.
Thanks.
There's something I want to show you. Can you come
So this lady just sabotaged my video.
What was the question again?
What do you think about the current state of America?
Oh, it's a very complicated equation.
Good little troll. Don't talk to him.
Yeah, what are you talking about, sir?
Do you think he is? Do you think
He's a Trump fan.
I'm just asking you what you think about the current state of America. We're outside of a place where a deportation took place. What do you think about the current state of America?
I think it's pretty bad. Oh.
Find out who they are before you talk to them.
What's y'all's?
My god. It's a cult. It's a sad cult of people. Don't speak to anybody, and when they do, they just look like fools because, well, they are. They just are. Each and every one of them. Ask for their credentials. I wonder who used to do that back in the day. Papers, please.
Credential press.
Okay, so you're aware and you're actively consenting to the conversation.
Wow, we're just asking you about the current state of America. Wow, this is unbelievable, everybody. I just wanted to come ask them about the current state of America.
You don't want to give them content that they will chop up and try to ridicule you with.
Can you show me your badge of journalism? They're all asking for mine.
No.
Can you show me your badge of credibility?
I'm not going to show you my press badge.
So why would they get mad at me for not having a press badge, asking people. Meanwhile, you're out here taking photos of me.
I don't know. Do they know who you are?
They apparently do. Look at her.
Well, that answers your question, doesn't it?
But I would like to know who you are as you're taking my
You don't need
photos.
to know who I am. I don't want to be on camera, and I don't want to talk to you.
You guys, fun fact, underneath the First Amendment, you have the freedom of press, freedom of speech. You actually don't need a press badge to show up to a location and ask people questions. What do you think about the current state of America, sir?
Goodbye, fascist.
What makes me a fascist, sir? All right, you guys, this is quite unbelievable here. This is quite the little protest you got, and this just goes to highlight what's going on here in America. Let's go to the next location. What do you think about the current state of America?
Oh, not that great.
Anything you would do different?
Elect a new president.
Who do you think will be the next president?
Newsom.
Would you say he's the face of the Democratic Party right now?
Yeah?
What do you guys think about the current state of America?
I think we feel like the masses need to understand that there's no left or right wing party. We need to stay in the middle and move forward. And it's f***ed up that we're all here, including me. All this stuff needs to stop. Then the fake propaganda they fucking got people dying over agendas and all this shit. So it's not even fucking about money anymore. It's about whoever the fuck is controlling the narrative. They need to stop. And then now you got the people getting involved. Now the people are making their own deep state. So like, stop. Now you got fucking people, kids wanting to join militia. Stop. No. Why is my son wanting to learn how to load up a silencer? Because you're hurting people. No. No. This is crazy. Now you're like opening the gates of darkness.
So even young kids are trying to learn how to use guns in case something does happen.
Yes, protect their families, brother. Like,
and given the two options of keeping all illegal migrants or deporting all illegal migrants, what would you do? Keep them or deport them all?
I'd say keep the good ones, and I'd say it's probably take back the criminals.
You have to choose. Keep them all or deport them all. What would you do?
Some of them built this country, so I'd have to say keep them all, because I come from a first immigration family.
And now we're here in Washington, D.C. We're all suited up. I got a special surprise for you guys in just a moment, but let's go interview some people here on the streets of Washington, D.C. first. How do you feel about the current state of America?
I feel really, really good about it, Nick. I think the media tries to portray the state of our nation as a very bleak and dismal thing. But overall, I think Americans maybe silently are feeling a lot better than they did when Joe Biden was the president. I mean, you look at what the media is complaining about. If the worst they can come up with is that we're blowing up Venezuelan drug boats, then I think the president's doing a pretty good job.
And here just a few weeks ago, a National Guardsman was killed here on the streets of Washington, D.C. Do you feel like the media has now twisted so many words and has almost brainwashed people in the sense where they think that a National Guardsman is a fascist or a Nazi for protecting the streets of Washington, D.C.?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the only thing you hear about the National Guard from the media is that they are the Gestapo, Trump's Nazi police, but in reality, they are the nicest people on the planet. I say hi to them every time I see them. They wave, they smile, they're very neighborly. They would not harm a fly. So that the fact that the media has portrayed them to be some vicious, villainous creatures to the point where somebody thought that they needed to take a shot at one of them and ultimately killed one is just atrocious. And I hope the media stops with that narrative because it's not helping anybody. They're doing a terrific job, and I feel a lot safer as a DC resident with them here.
And it's now came out that he was an illegal migrant from Afghanistan. Now Trump's calling for reverse migration here in the United States. Do you support reverse migration?
Yes, I support it. I think because we have not had assimilation with this immigration, it's just really become an invasion. And until you have assimilation and these immigrants coming in that respect this country and respect the people living here and don't hate us, then it's never going to work out. It's a recipe for disaster. So until we can fix this system that has become so broken, until it can heal, I'm 1,000% with the president. We love our immigrants, but what Joe Biden did to this nation has made the process a total disaster. So I think that we should pause, fix, and then reevaluate.
How do you feel about the current state of America right now here in the nation's capital?
It's a tragedy, but you know, it's for the best. I mean, what do you mean? Like, what's the current state of America? Like, do we mean like, you know, the working class man just getting pulled over because he doesn't have papers and getting snatched up and sent back to El Salvador? I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, but if you look back in American politics, hey, shut up for a minute. Democrats have been, like, generally speaking, against immigration. Bill Clinton signed a lot of bills that went against immigration. And it's now the Democratic rhetoric to say that we are for illegal immigration because Donald Trump's against it. There's no longer a Democratic, there's no really a political environment. It's either Donald Trump or anti-Trump. And it's kind of weird, his cohorts are starting to fall out of politics just based off of his politics. And, you know, it's f***ed up.
Do you like what President Trump's doing right now?
Some stuff I do agree with, some stuff I don't. A lot of the things I don't agree with, but
What's some of the stuff you do agree with?
as far as like maybe like the government assistance stuff, like a lot of people do need to get off their asses and work for what they want and what they need, instead of living off the government forever. I mean, I do believe.
Yo, that's wild, because just saying that alone, they would deem her a full-out Trump supporter. They would rake her across the coals for just saying that alone. Doesn't matter if she comes out and claims, oh, I don't agree with everything he does. Only some things here or there. But she came out and said that, that's it. She's done. She's cooked. They would paint her at where Nick Shirley was before, they would paint her as everything across to the moon and back.
It's a crutch to certain people because they're comfortable, you know? They get too comfortable. So, yeah, get assistance to help you build and get off of it.
And do you think the government shutdown is a wake-up call for a lot of people as far as realizing that, oh, maybe you shouldn't rely so much on the government?
I think they think it's a joke. I don't think that it's a reality check for them.
And we were just talking to this lady over here, and she was actually happy that now Trump and his administration are getting rid of benefits for people who have been on them for so long.
I don't agree. I don't agree. No matter how long somebody is on financial help, they're on it for a reason. Everybody needs help. This economy is high. It's terrible. So if people need that to live, then that should be accepted.
How do you guys feel about the current state of America?
I think we're on path. We're obviously MAGA fans, and I think it's daddy's back home. It's time to bring everyone back and move forward.
Seems like a lot of people are angry at President Trump right now for blowing up narco boats on the coast and for deporting illegal migrants. What's your message to them?
Let them be angry. They voted, they lost. Move away. By the way, if they're such nice people, invite them over for dinner, have them live with you for a month.
Why do you think the liberals and Democrats are so supportive of illegal migrants? And what do you think about, what does the word illegal mean to you?
Well, first of all, you're breaking the law, so you are an illegal. Secondly, it's for votes and for representation in House of Representatives and Congress, and also for cheap labor.
Donald Trump just called Tim Walz seriously retarded. Do you think Tim Walz is seriously retarded?
Well, I grew up in Minnesota. That's why I'm in Vegas, and I agree with him.
And today, in this video, we're even inside the White House. I hope you all have a Merry, Merry Christmas. What do you think about the current state of America? We're inside the White House right now.
Okay, so I have to say the right thing inside the White House.
Whatever you want to say.
No, listen, I wouldn't have taken the time to get on a plane to come here if I wasn't so proud of where we are as a country right now. Honestly, I knew it'd be good when he won. The right person won the election a year ago, but I had no idea it would look like this, and he would have made so much progress to make us a better, greater, safer country. It is an honor to be in here because of the man who's leading the way.
A lot of people are in uproar about the illegal migration. Now Trump's calling for reverse migration. Do you think it's a good thing to be deporting illegal migrants?
Do I think it's a good thing to be deporting illegal migrants? Yes, the key word is illegal. And if you come in here legally, America is the most welcoming country on the face of the earth. Legal is the key word.
What do you think about the current state of America?
Well, being from San Diego, we're absolutely loving it. You know, we have a big immigration problem down there, and the fact that we're tightening up the borders and getting things straightened out there. And number two, the economy. The economy is a lot more on fire. It was so stagnated for such a long time that we're really happy to see that going on.
Is there anything you'd be doing different than what President Trump is doing right now?
I would work harder with the states on deregulation, because that's where we're getting hung up on, especially with the AI boom and the data centers. Nuclear power, we need to get that. We have states that we're from, like California, that are extremely regulated, and it really restricts business.
We're now in the middle of America at a gas station. We're making our way across America. And what's your current take on the current state of America?
We've got some trouble with our politics as far as, you know, with the people on the left. that it seems like they're just not happy with no matter what President Trump does, what the current political regime does. They're always mad about something, and I personally think it's just they just want to overthrow the current government as it stands. You've got the hardcore left wings that just aren't happy with anything, and it's quite frankly, it scares me.
And you got quite some years on me. What do you think about the youth nowadays, especially the people inside of these college and these big institutions?
Quite some years, okay. Well, it's you know, you look at some of these politicians, the what do they call them, the seditious six, that they just started telling service members that to disobey orders and that. It's like, you know, they didn't do that when President Obama was drone bombing places over in the Middle East. They didn't do that when Biden was doing the same thing. We're just at a thing where no matter what this president does, no matter what this current administration does, they don't like it. They want to overthrow it. And to me, that's classic signs of a possible communist takeover. Look at all the people that are getting elected in cities now. We've got to wake up and pay attention where we're going.
Do you feel like Trump's doing a good job?
I think he's doing a great job, and it's unfortunate that every time he tries to do something that is productive for this country, you've got the other party just trying to hamstring him no matter what, and they're doing it simply because it's Trump. And look at the price of gas I just paid. 6 months, a year ago, I was paying almost double this when I'm making these trips, especially when I'm in Chicago. Price of food's down. Everything. Our security is much better. Our homeland is much safer. And I just don't understand why people on the other side aren't cheering that and aren't supporting him for that.
Now we have made it all the way here to Chicago. We're going to start.
Because they believe in Orange Man bad. The rant I went on yesterday. These people just have multiple Trump towers in their head, and he's flying in and out of them constantly. He just lives rent-free in people's minds, no matter what he does, good or bad.
Talking to some of the people here about see what they have to say about the current situation in Chicago. Chicago's been the headlines of news for quite some time now. J.B. Pritzker and everything from ICE, National Guard. We're going to talk to some people here that are really living here to see what it's like here from the streets of Chicago. Lots of things are happening here in Chicago. You got J.P. Pritzker as the governor, Mayor Brandon Johnson. They're trying to send in the National Guard and whatnot. Yeah. But what's really happening here in the streets of Chicago?
Shit, Chicago, just Chicago and shit. I mean...
And what's your take on what's happening here inside the United States with the National Guard, ICE, everything that's happening here inside of Chicago and across the nation?
Shit, bro, I ain't even seen they ass yet, for real, for real. I ain't trying to run into them for real. I'm just living, getting through this shit day by day. Like, a lot of times, I don't even be really seeing that shit. I come across it. You know, I always look into it a little bit, but lately I've been just, you know, moving around and shit, so I ain't seen no National Guards yet, though. They probably is up here, though, you know?
Is Chicago as dangerous as they make it out to be?
I mean, it's motherfucker dangerous, but it's a lot of most cities dangerous too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just Chicago fake like the motherland for all this shit.
What would make Chicago a better and safer place?
Shit, more money through this bitch. It's money out here, but it's like motherfuckers need more opportunities to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that minimum wage need to go up a little bit more too. They always take that motherfucker up, but tend to take tax out that shit. So it's like it's never even really going up. That go up $24 an hour. Now they take it down that nick out your shit. Like, you know, it's like, so basically that shit's still the same. I don't know. Stop taking so much tax out of motherfuckers' check and all that shit.
So here in the United States, we have a big issue with immigration. Would you rather have the United States keep all illegal migrants or deport all illegal migrants?
Man, deport they ass. I mean, somewhat. I can't. I keep some of them, and some of them I send them about their way.
But you have to either keep them all or deport them all. What are you doing?
Shit, I'm deporting them.
All right, now we're moving on to the next city. We're out of Chicago. Now we've made it all the way here to Hawaii. We've gone all the way from New York City to Hawaii. Hawaii is the most expensive and most unaffordable state in all of America, with the average home here being more expensive than anywhere else in America. Let's talk to the Hawaiians about what they think about the current state of America. How do you feel about the current state of America right now?
We need help, major help, because there's a lot of us people, poor people, that are out on the streets right now. can't afford homes, can't even afford rents because it's up, or either they sell homes so expensive to outsiders.
So here in Hawaii with affordability, a lot of the affordability comes from outsiders from the mainland coming here and buying on the island.
Besides the outsiders, even foreign countries. So not only in the U.S.
How do you feel about the current state of America? Here in Hawaii, you guys have the most expensive state to live in the United States.
Yeah. It's a tough position for us because we are a part of the United States, and that's something that we were obviously nothing that we wanted to be a part of from the beginning. Like being overthrown back in like 1893 and like having to be a part of the United States, even though that wasn't our choice, we've kind of just been sucked into everything that goes on there, right? The choices that they make, it affects us, and we just live in this little island, and everything, of course, obviously comes in, and it's just an unfortunate situation. I mean, I think you come to Hawaii and you think everyone's living this luxury, like paradise life, and it's really not. I just moved back from Utah about 3 years ago, and it's like a rat race. It's like everyone's working like 7 days a week to survive. It's just like nonstop, and it's gas. I feel like I put gas like at least 3 times a week. It's just like nonstop. Food prices and everything. And
in Donald Trump's second term, how do you feel he's doing? And has he made any changes that have affected the lives of the people here in Hawaii?
Well, see, I voted for Trump. Like, I was really like, okay, Trump's gonna come back and he's gonna like get everybody working again and like things are gonna be better. And then the opposite has just happened. It's just, I don't know where he's going. I don't know what his agenda is with all of this. I think he's listening to a lot of, big players in there who think that they have an idea of what to do, but I don't know. It's kind of a scary situation.
How do you feel about the current state of America?
A rough shape, I feel, financially and physically.
And what do you think about Trump's second term so far?
It's been a rough start. 1 year feels like 3 years already.
The topic of inflation and affordability is coming up a lot right now. Here in Hawaii, it is the most unaffordable state in America. How are people getting by?
One day at a time, honestly. It's a daily struggle.
Or how many people from Hawaii are just living paycheck to paycheck, would you say?
I'd say every one of them. These days right now, it seems like everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, you're one medical episode away from being broke.
So would you say most Hawaiians are one paycheck away from technically being on the streets?
Yeah, one major life event, for sure.
In 2028, right now in Poly Market, it says J.D. Vance projected to win the presidential election, and then Gavin Newsom underneath that. Who do you think will actually win the election in 2028, a Republican or a Democrat?
I feel since everything's trending down for Trump right now, that it will be a Democrat.
And has anything Trump's done this second term affected you?
No, done nothing for us. Pretty much, yeah.
Do you think the United States should be supporting people here that came here illegally? Should we be giving welfare to people, for instance, in Minnesota, where they're giving people from Somalia, refugees, money who are on welfare?
As Americans, instead of the outsiders. That's how I look at it.
Should welfare even be going to people who are refugees, immigrants, whatever you want to call them?
No, I don't think so. It should be supporting us Americans. They're the ones get everything, not us. You know what I mean?
And how do you survive here in Hawaii?
Fishing, whatever we can do.
And how do you feel like Trump's second term has gone so far?
Well, he's not sitting on his laurels, that's for sure.
On his what?
Laurels.
Laurels, what do you mean by that?
He's not just sitting down and looking pretty. He's actually doing something, making noise. He's trying to do it on a global scale that does impact America.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, he's doing something that no other president has done as far as, tariffs and ICE and all that. So yeah, it's a change.
And what do you guys think about when you see the ICE immigration and the deportations and the raids taking place in the United States on the mainland?
My simplest term I can understand is get documented. That's it. Just get documented. That's all the beef is about. Really do the paperwork.
And if someone's here illegally, should they be mad when they get deported out of the United States?
No.
Someone on FaceTime goes, oh, hell no.
No.
Based. Based. I guess it depends on where you live. I don't know. Where you live, who you talk to, people in DC, mixed opinions, people in New York, different opinions, mostly liberal Democrat opinions. He was in the middle of nowhere. He was in the He was in the White House. That is Nick Shirley going up in the world, dude. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Middle of America gas station, asking people in Chicago. Like, everybody's got it different, I guess. I don't know. But Hawaii seems to be a bit of a nightmare. Just saying. That sounds like a bit of a shite show. Moving onward to the Markham Unionville drama. Rebel News. Give them a like. The people living there are very, very upset. And the videos have been popping up left, right, and center. And it's not just like one or two. It's not just a handful of people. It feels like it's literally the entire riding.
We must know the reason why he closed the floor. Michael Mark come to our community. He promised lots of things.
Why did you do this to the people who supported you? Why did you do this to your own constituents?
It's a matter of foreign interference. It's not just a matter of crossing the floor.
What Mr. Ma did was a betrayal of his constituents.
Agreed.
David
Absolutely.
Menzies for Rebel News here in the riding of Markham Unionville, the scene of the latest political betrayal. And I speak of former Conservative MP Michael Ma, who shockingly crossed the floor last Thursday. But a fundamental question arises. Why did Ma flip on a dime? I mean, he only went from criticizing Mark Carney just days ago to suddenly becoming part of the Liberal Party of Canada fold. It is baffling.
The Liberals have not been playing as a referee in the great game of faction. They have chosen to play as team asset inflation, and they have made us all poor for this decision. Young Canadians can't get the jobs they need, the housing they deserve, or the healthcare services they are entitled to. With money printed, working overdrive, Mr. Speaker, what future does Canada have under the Liberal feudal regime? I don't see a future here, and it worries me.
This riding has...
I don't see a future here, and it worries me, as he calls them team feudalism, and then he crosses over. There's something so weird about this one. It is strange. It is very strange.
A history of foreign interference via China. Indeed, do you recall the former Liberal MP for this riding? That would be Han Dong. Mr. Dong reportedly had the assistance of international, mainly Chinese students, bust in to help him win his 2019 Liberal Party of Canada nomination before being elected Member of Parliament. He then abstained from voting on a Conservative Party of Canada motion condemning China's Uyghur genocide. He resigned from the Liberal caucus and did not seek re-election while these foreign interference allegations came out. The riding's new Liberal candidate, Paul Chang, earlier this year joked about his Conservative opponent, Joe Tay, a Hong Kong political dissident, having a $1 million bounty from the Chinese Communist Party, and that voters should turn him in.
I remember that one. That came out during was it the election? Or shortly after? I think it was shortly after, because Mark Carney had to condemn the words. I could be wrong, but regardless of the fact, people still support the Liberal Party, even with things like that. Blatantly out in the open for you to read, or whatever the case is. It's just crazy. The amount of foreign interference there. Always on display.
The question arises, doesn't it? Was Ma coerced by China to flip-flop, or was Ma promised something from Carney? Hey folks, before I get to the crux of the matter, as you can see, we brought our beautiful Jumbotron-equipped truck. We're here to deliver a message on the behalf of the constituents of Markham Unionville, and that is firema.ca. That's firema.ca. What Mr. Ma did was a betrayal of his constituents, a betrayal of the volunteers who worked very hard to get him elected in this riding. It should not stand. Please go to firema.ca, sign the petition, and while you're there, if you're able to, can you kick in $1 or $3 to help us pay for the expenses of our truck? Thank you so much. After all, we're not talking about a single seat changing hands. This is an attempt by the Mark Carney Liberals to turn a minority government into a majority government, and they're only 1 seat away now. The thing is, the people of Canada in the April election did not vote for a Liberal majority government. But I guess when you're an elitist like Mark Carney, who cares what the little people think, right? Let's just gerrymander the system and get our majority by hook or by crook. Now, as you can see behind me, there are constituents and others outside Michael Ma's constituency office. Naturally, Mr. Ma is nowhere to be seen, but I'm sure they have a few words to say about the man they voted for as a conservative suddenly becoming a liberal. Let's hear what they have to say. Do you feel sold out by Mr. Ma crossing the floor?
Sure, 100%.
Okay, then.
I vote for conservative.
Yes.
I didn't know Michael Ma before the election. I just going to Google, find something. I don't know him, but I vote for him for conservative platform.
All we ask that he do the honorable thing and resign.
Without any discussion with the voters, and he changed the position by himself. It's not our decision.
I was absolutely disgusted beyond belief, and I'm like, oh my goodness, all it takes is one more, and they got an illegitimate majority. And it's like, oh my God, this is the worst possible thing to happen.
We're not for sale.
Okay.
Our no votes are not for sale.
He was dancing and partying with the Conservatives the night before, and all of a sudden the next day, he's there hugging Prime Minister Mark Carney.
So folks, I'm with John. John lives in the riding of Markham Unionville. John also volunteered to work on the campaign. Tell me, John, do you feel...
Oh, that's brutal. Volunteered. Wasn't even paid. Nothing. Just volunteered his own time for the very man to stab him in the back. That is spineless work right there from Michael Ma. Everybody's calling him out for it. Just a utter trash human.
You a little betrayed right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely I do.
And did you see this coming?
No.
Do you think Michael Ma was coerced by China to cross the floor, or was it Mark Carney offering him something?
It was a photo of Winnie the Pooh and Mr. Burns shaking hands. Right there.
By China to...
Wow. What a specimen. Good lord.
Cross the floor, or was it Mark Carney offering him something in return? What are your thoughts?
So I don't know the details. This is something that RCMP sees us. They should investigate that. But we do know that Michael Ma was a special guest in Chinese consulate in Toronto for 76th anniversary.
Why do you think he crossed the floor?
I have no idea why.
Okay.
I just feel angry. He never consult us. He never listened to the voters' opinion. But I think must be something behind the scene.
Oh, you think he might have been promised something?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure, for sure.
Because we vote him as a voter for the Conservative Party.
Yes.
Actually, this guy, we don't know him before.
That's what I've been wondering myself. I mean, I've had a couple questions, regarding that. Like, was he bought off? Was he blackmailed, or was he simply working for the CPP the whole time?
Do you feel betrayed?
100%.
Yes, absolutely betrayed. I feel disgusted.
Yes, of course, we feel very bad for his betrayal. Yeah.
We want someone keep their promise, keep their words, and they're accountable for what they said.
Well, folks, some of the demonstrators have decided to make a house call. Let's see if Mr. Ma is in his office or if he is in hiding.
Oh my God.
After his shocking announcement last Thursday. Well, folks, I don't think anyone is here. The lights are off, most of them at least. But there's some interesting signage here. It's a picture.
They're calling him an ogre. That's wild work right there.
Of Michael Ma next to Shrek. I'm not sure what the connection is there. Maybe the person, I don't know, thought that was a picture of the Grinch. But anyways, it's Shrek. Another sign says, "We vote conservative, not you. Resign now." And Michael Ma.
Dude, that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. They look, rightfully so, incredibly pissed off. And I 100% agree with them. The best part about it is they shut down the office for Christmas with Parliament alongside it. And then he switched over just like that. I'm curious if he's even going to return. Like, is he going to show up again, or is he just gonna disappear? Not like, anything bad happened to him, but like, just not show up to Parliament. Like, what if he does actually resign? That'd be amazing. I highly doubt it. It would raise a lot of questions, though, if he did. Because it would be like, oh, he was just bought off. He worked for the Conservatives, got elected, switched, resigned, and then disappeared. He was probably bought off. But who knows? Who honestly knows at this point? All theories and speculation. All I know is he is a spineless piece of shit. And that is actually hilarious. That's fantastic. Moving onward. To end the stream off as, I guess I'm going to say it's like the tradition now. We'll just end with a Moose on the Loose video. Talking about the approval rating of Carney, the Conservatives surging in the polls. Now today, out of nowhere, Quebec Liberal leader resigns for allegedly buying votes. That is some of the craziest shit.
A little more cynical than the panelists before me and say, this is never, never going to happen.
The numbers are undeniable. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got new polling data and multiple polls showing that the Conservatives are in the lead. Not only are in the lead, a Conservative majority government is being projected right now. Jamil Javani offering his support and his connections to Mark Carney. This is stirring things up. Let's jump into this. Starting this one off, we've got new polling data. Shirley USA posting this Main Street poll here. And as we see, the Conservatives are up to 42.3%. That's plus 2.6. The Liberals down 41.3, or down 2.7%. And then we see the Bloc has gone up 1.2 to 6.7%. The NDP at 5.8%. And while there's a 1% difference here between the Conservatives and the Liberals, that's not the important part. The important part is the Conservatives' vote is so much more effective at getting seats than the Liberals. The Liberals' votes are consolidated in these places like Chrystia Freeland's riding, downtown Toronto, these core areas that have tons of Liberals in them. If more votes are in those areas, way more than are needed to win the riding, then they're less effective. And that's what we have here. The Conservatives' votes are more effective at picking up seats. Shirley USA's modeling this poll out, and what would we get? 173 seats, or a Conservative majority government. Liberals 139, down 30 seats. The NDP losing 4 seats down to 3. Bloc at 27 and Greens at 1. He's also got another one here. So this Ipsos poll is 37% Conservative and 40% Liberal, but modeled out, you can see the Conservatives still get a minority government, 151 seats, and the Liberals Liberals at 142. This is coming from Ipsos. The other one showing a Conservative majority coming from Main Street Research, which was the most accurate in the last election. So this is something really to look at. And what we're seeing here is 38 to 36. Why is that? Because the undecided here, this gray section, the 12%, it says all voters. We look at the next block here. It says leaning voters with undecided totals, 39 versus 40. And then the results you just saw there, 42% Conservative to 41% Liberals. This is decided with leaning voters. There's some other interesting data in here. We've got this. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Mark Carney? This is a good way to ask this, because that whole way of asking preferred PM, when a guy's already prime minister, it's just easier for people to say Mark Carney. It's also easier for the Bloc, the NDP, and the Green voters to say Mark Carney. That's why you see Mark Carney's numbers always higher in that preferred PM role versus Pierre Poilievre, because all the left are voting for Mark Carney. But in reality, they wouldn't vote for Mark Carney. That's why it's not a good way to ask that. This is a better way. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Mark Carney? And what do we see? The blue is positive, the green is negative, with 32 strongly negative, 17 somewhat negative, and then somewhat positive 27 and very positive 17. Mark Carney's only 44%, is less than half here. The negative is 49%, as in he's a -5 now. And we have the same thing here for Pierre Poilievre, favorable versus unfavorable, and unfavorable 34 and 11. That's 45%, as in 4 percentage points better than Mark Carney. As for positive, it's also 45. He's at 0. Mark Carney's -5. Do you think Canada is going the right direction? 52% saying no, 34% saying yes. All these numbers are not good for Carney. Do you think there should be another federal election? This red one here, as soon as possible, 31%, 18% saying fall or spring of 2026. And then these ones here are 2027 and 2028. And then 29% here is saying in 2029 as scheduled. This one here, we've got, if you could vote as a delegate in the Conservative Party leadership review being held in January, would you keep Pierre Poilievre as leader or support a new leader to replace him? And 41% saying yes to keeping Pierre Poilievre and 38% saying no. Obviously, all the leftists are going to say no because they want to get rid of the guy. 20% saying I don't know. So really, Pierre Poilievre's numbers are pretty flat here. They're not negative. Mark Carney's numbers are negative, and his projected Conservative majority here, and if you go by the Ipsos poll, then it's projected Conservative minority. So Mark Carney's honeymoon is well over. People are realizing this guy's a charlatan and a rich grifter banker that's just trying to rip us off. The reality is Canadians are starting to wake up. They're starting to have enough of Mark Carney's lies. Who cares? I think that really hurt him. We also have this polling data here from Markham Unionville. This is Michael Maugh's riding. Look at this, projected 62% for the Conservatives. Michael Maugh never intended to be there for a long time. He wouldn't win for the first time, become an MP, and then cross the floor. So what is he getting in the back end? Who is promising him something? Is it money? How much money? What is it? With all that polling data said, we got Mario posting this. It's official. He admitted defeat. He failed. Coming from Yahoo Finance, Mark Carney warns U.S.-Canada economic relationship is now over. How to survive a drastically different world. Does Mark Carney know that the dog and pony show here is over? Is he trying to fearmonger more? Oh, it's over. It's drastically ruptured. Everything's scary. Don't worry, the banker's here to save us. So a couple quotes from this article here. We've got this. Our relationship with the United States will never be the same as it was, even though in the new protectionist world, we have the best trade deal of any country. That's right, still leaning on Chrystia Freeland's deal. And we've got this one here. Indeed, Carney has cautioned before Trump's sweeping tariffs will rupture the global economy. There's a lot of moving pieces here. Mark Carney obviously trying to fearmonger some more, continually going after Pierre Poilievre. They're doing their best to try getting rid of the guy, and here he is once again leading in the polls. Moving ahead here, we got this interview with Jamil Javani. So there's reports that he has said, I'll reach out to JD Vance. He went to school with JD Vance. He's good friends with him, the vice president of America. He said, I'll reach out to him, see if he can help get a deal with Donald Trump. What do you think the Liberals' response to this was? Nothing. But of course, first they have to ask about floor crossers.
I am wondering, what has it been like in caucus? And I know those conversations are secret, but just what has it been like, 3 MPs down in one month, a little over 1 month, between Chris D'Entremont and Matt Jenneru, who hasn't officially left yet, but is planning on leaving, and now this. What effect does that have on morale?
Certainly it's not a fun thing to go through, right? Losing your colleagues. And just to put into perspective, because I think people can relate to this, it's like, imagine you go to work and there's like someone who you see all the time and you think you know the person, and then you find out the guy, they have a whole ulterior agenda. That's like a weird thing to go through just as a human being, right? To see that. And it does feel like the timing of these floor crossings are designed to demoralize us. The first one's happening in the lead up to the budget vote, the next one happening as we're all departing for sort of the Christmas break. But I would say that it is not having the demoralizing effect. I actually think part of what's happening on our team is people really just rallying together and being like, look, we're conservatives for a reason. It's reminding us why we wear the blue jersey, right? And really forcing us to accept our responsibility here, which is that we believe there's a decline happening in our country, that the quality of life for the average Canadian is getting worse. And we stand as a party that's trying to fix it. So I feel closer to my colleagues. I feel like we're tighter. Our bonds are even stronger. Probably not what Mark Carney hoped would happen by having these defections occur. But I feel really good about where we are and where we're headed and the role that we play in our democracy and the changes that I think we represent.
As for Matt Genereux, he's not voting, he's not participating in anything, so what is he doing? He's just collecting money? There should be a 3 strikes rule and you're out. If you don't vote 3 times in a row, you should be immediately terminated from Parliament, period. Why are we paying him so he can step down later? What, he just wants to collect another $30,000-$40,000?
I want to ask you, Steve McKinnon, the government House leader, is out today saying, oh, there's more Conservatives that want to cross the floor. Can you just respond to that? Do you think that that's true?
I have no idea what they're up to.
Okay, so this is exactly what happens, or what has happened, at least in my eyes, in my opinion. Maybe it's the truth, I don't know, but this is what I believe is happening. The Liberals are driving everything away from them. They don't want any attention. Stephen McKinnon stood up there well knowing that his party was on the brink of something terrible, where Quebec MPs aren't agreeing with the policies, and a Quebec MP was allegedly using fundraiser money to get people on board. He knew all these things were most likely happening behind the scenes. He knows that Stephen Guilbeault resigned from cabinet and wants nothing to do with Mark Carney now. The Liberal cabinet and caucus is fracturing, and he stood up there and put everything on the Conservatives. And Tim Hodgson did the exact same thing. He stood up there and went, oh, I'm talking to a lot of Conservatives right now, or whatever he said, rough quote. I'm talking to a lot of people right now that maybe want to switch. Oh, this, that, and the fourth. Conservative MP maybe wants to drop out here and there. There's a bunch of them. But at the end of the day, it's actually their own party. They're just projecting. And now it's coming to light. One Liberal MP after another. Will it continue? Is it maybe just one? I don't know. But now they're 1 seat away from a majority. Michael Ma going over, Chris D'Entremont going over. One of them was just canceled out right then and there. And I can only imagine more Liberal MPs, specifically Quebec sitting, are either going to be investigated or are going to jump ship because they don't agree. This very well could be the beginning of the end for Mark Carney. Now the mainstream media is going to run extreme damage control. They just will. They always do. It's going to be a very interesting 2026. The beginning of 2026 is going to be very, very interesting. Things are already happening very quickly on a week-to-week basis. And when they come back, it's just going to be boom, 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 one thing after another. Or maybe they prorogue government again and we head directly into another spring election. Who knows at this point? Things are falling apart quickly, though. That's what I do know. All you have to do is look. Read what's happening. Read the room. Read the writing on the wall.
I can speak to, the Conservatives that I talk to, and I feel very close and that we're all on the same page. But they've got the Liberals clearly have an agenda. They're clearly reaching out to people. And, I don't want to pretend I know more than I do. I don't know. I didn't know Michael Ma was going to leave. I didn't know Chris D'Entremont was going to leave, right? Like, I come here like a job. I come here to work, and whatever games people are playing, it's not my business.
Okay, I want to ask you about what's coming up in January. Do you think that Pierre Poilievre has taken any lessons from the last election, or does he need to?
Well, you'd probably have to ask him for a better answer, but I can just say from my observations, I do think the experience he had in Battle River Crowfoot, going back out there, having to ask for a vote, talking to people, I do think it strengthened him as a person, as a man, and as a leader. I have seen him be, collaborative and with a bigger caucus, finding ways to get more people involved in things. So I'm hopeful that as time goes on, just like any leader is supposed to, he continues to learn and grow. I think he's going to have a very positive result in the convention. I think a vote for Pierre at our leadership convention is a vote for our team and the strength of our team. And I hope we can just focus on making our country better. Because I'm very sincere when I say I really think we're moving in the wrong direction and I want to see a course correction.
Do you think that Pierre Poilievre is the right person to take you into the next election?
Yeah, I do. When he became leader of our party, he won with an overwhelming majority.
So before he continues there, some of you commenting on the body language of conservatives. Well, here's a perfect example. When Jamil Jivani is asked this question, look how fast his response is.
Do you think that Pierre Poilievre is the right person to take you into the next election?
Yeah.
So you can see his eyebrows right away pop right up, and his answer is yeah, right away. He didn't have to think about that. This is an honest reaction. When someone looks down or is looking underneath the podium for the mouse, as Mark Carney's always doing, they're trying to hide something. They're scrambling their brain trying to come up with an answer. When you answer this quickly, it's definitive, it's honest, and it's usually truthful.
I do. When he became leader of our party, he won with an overwhelming majority of conservative members selecting him. They have a chance to do the same in January. And providing he passes that, I mean, the conservative membership will have spoken twice. And that's what I expect to happen.
And that to you is if he has the support of the conservative base or the conservative voting, that to you is indicative that he should continue to lead the party.
Yeah, we're here to serve people, and the people who show up to make that vote in January are the people who make that decision.
Here he's talking about J.D. Vance.
Conservative MP and close friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance says he could help restart trade talks with the United States. Jamil Jivani is the MP for Bowmanville, Oshawa North in Ontario, and he sat down last week for an exclusive interview with the CBC's Kate McKenna. Here's part of that.
If my party were in power and I could actually reach out to people in Washington and say, okay, can we try to resolve some of this trade dispute or get a deal going? There's a role for me to play. With the Liberal Party in power, there's not an obvious way for me to inject myself into that conversation. Now, I will say I have offered Mark Carney to help, and I really do believe I could help. I would love it if Mark Carney said to me, look, we need a multi-partisan, all hands on deck approach. Please go down to Washington. Here's the strategy and approach we're taking. See what you can do to help. I would love it if he asked me to do that. But out of respect for him as prime minister, I don't want to get involved. And frankly, we saw with the whole Doug Ford commercial debacle, what happens when there's not a good strategy in place that is in the best interest of the country. Mark Carney is getting a new ambassador named. Maybe that means a new strategy. Maybe that means there's a way that I can help. And, you know, my constituents in Bowmanville, Oshawa North would like me to do that. But at the end of the day, the prime minister has to make that decision, not me. So I would love to be able to talk to JD about how we can make things better for our economy. But I don't want to get involved in what Mark Carney's up to, and unless he tells me that's helpful to him.
So there it is, putting it on the table there.
I did reach out to the Prime Minister's office to see if they were interested in taking Jamil Jivani up on his offer. They have not so far responded to that request for comment.
Of course they haven't. They don't want a deal. Carney does not want a deal. He's 91% invested in America. Do you think he wants to hurt his investments? If Canada starts doing better, it's worse for his investments. As this guy says here, the only deals Carney is interested in are those that benefit him. Exactly.
That is very true. That is very true. If it's got a big Brookfield stamp on it, good to go, no problems. Anything else, though? I don't know. We'll have to think about that one. We got to get consultation on that one, guys. Come on now.
This guy is a grifter who only cares about himself. So if it isn't attacking Pierre Poilievre directly, well, what are they doing on CBC here? Now they're speculating that Jamil Jivani wants to steal his job after their leadership review. He's going to swoop in. Like, come on, guys.
Lisa, as a former Conservative MP, have you ever seen someone just directly offer their help to the Prime Minister like that on the CBC?
On a CBC, maybe not, but it's not unheard of for that to happen, quite frankly. So I don't know whether or not it's a soft launch of a leadership, but certainly it is interesting that he's volunteering that he can help. I think that's probably coming from a sincere place. And I don't know whether or not the leader would actually be fussed by that at all. I mean, we've made the position that we want to help as best we can. It doesn't seem like he's not crossing the floor, but he's extending that olive branch. And it may be seen as positive for the party in general that somebody's reaching out and saying, yeah, I want to help. So maybe it's more of an overall softening. Maybe it's a grand plan that we're just not in on.
I think what this really is Jamil Jivani wants a minister position once the Conservatives finally get in government. He's been putting his neck out there, doing his tour of the North, whatever it's called, as well as championing his own initiatives. And this is just another one of them. He's saying, you know what, we can help here. Canadians are struggling and suffering. He's not trying to oust Pierre Poilievre with this. Of course, if you watch this entire thing, there's other panels too. That's basically what they're saying for 10, 20, 30 minutes on CBC.
Maybe he's got a Kuzma deal, Vandana. I don't know, but you know, I reached back to some.
It's so weird how well, it's not weird because they're bought and paid for, but the way the CBC manipulates and twists a story into a narrative that works for them. Jamil Jivani twice during that interview said, yes, Pierre Poilievre is fine as the leader. He said it twice with a lot of confidence too. And now they're sitting here going, well, it looks like Pierre is weak and Jamil Jivani's just going to come sweeping in. It's like, maybe Jamil Jivani just wants to get a solid outcome for Canadians, and he has seen the Liberals fail over and over and over again. And if Jivani is friends with Vance or they grew up or whatever, they know each other, that's a card you should play. If you somehow, some way, team up with Jamil Jivani, if Mark Carney was intelligent, which he's not, but if he was smart enough, he would bring him on for, not like cross the floor, but he would bring on his help and say, go hang out with Vance. Go see what you can do. The problem is, Mark Carney isn't willing to work with anybody, and the Liberal Party sucks. They just do.
Trudeau-era people and said, has this ever come up before? And it was suggested to me that it was a less than helpful vibe when maybe there were reach outs to Mr. Jivani back then, but that was before the election and before the new reality has set in. So I don't know if those circumstances have changed, but what do you make of this particular development?
I mean, I think it's positive, but I think I always see Mr. Jivani as a bit separate from the Mr. Poilievre's traditional caucus. He's a bit of a maverick. I think he's a little bit similar to our Nathaniel Erskine-Smith. He champions his own issues. He has his own tours going on. He has, you know, he's well known across a number of platforms, and he champions the message that he truly believes in.
The difference, though, between him and Nate Erskine-Smith is he's not coming up with very critical things of Pierre Poilievre's platform. That's what Nate Erskine-Smith is doing, which is very different, especially the budget.
It was a year-end interview pitched by Mr. Jivani, the OLO, the opposition leader's office, to my knowledge, didn't know about it, didn't necessarily sanction it. I got a lot of texts and calls from Conservative MPs today saying, what's going on here? So, Mike.
David Cochrane trying to plant the seeds of doubt here. You want to talk about year-end interviews? Where's Mark Carney's? He's canceled all of them. He is not doing year-end interviews. The Prime Minister always does this. Always does it. Even Justin Trudeau, Captain Schmuck, he would ham it up one more time for Christmas. But Mark Carney does not care about Canada. Who cares? That's his motto. He's not doing any year-end interviews, period.
That question to you, Cheryl. What's going on here?
Well, I mean, it's good politics for Mr. Jivani. I would say it just reminds people of those really high-level connections that he has. He looks super confident, and I will say it looks very statesman-like to offer that olive branch and say that he wants to help, but like just going to be a little more cynical than the panelists before me and say this is never, never going to happen. Like at the core, even if he can help, he's just so deeply conflicted, and anybody on an opposing team would be conflicted to say that you're going to go, you know, work with the Prime Minister's office and you're going to support the Prime Minister and help him make progress on the things that one of the things that is the top issue for Canadians today. And on the other side of things, what Prime Minister is going to say, yes, I would love to give the opposition benches credit for the thing that matters most to Canadians. Right?
Exactly. That's another thing. Imagine if Jamil Jivani walked in and within like a month was able to secure things. And that would be it. That would be game over for the Liberals. That would be it. And she's right though. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Even if Jamil Jivani sat there and went, I can literally do this right now, I don't think Mark Carney cares. Mark Carney's not interested.
Right now,
Yeah, so she nailed it right there. If Jamil Jivani helps get this deal, then it's no longer Carney's win, it's Jamil Jivani and the Conservatives win, and thus Pierre Poilievre's win. So this is not going to go anywhere. It does look statesman, though. I'm sure Jamil Jivani putting this out there, it looks good for the Conservatives trying to help, and most definitely he wants one of those minister positions.
No, Mark Carney is a CEO, the CEO of Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada. There is one person leading these trade negotiations, and it's Mark Carney. I don't think there's room for anyone else.
Yeah, she nailed it right there. There's no one else in Mark Carney's government there. Anywhere near the top, Mr. Arrogant Banker, it's all him. It's the Carney show. The guy's an egomegalomaniac. Numerous people who've worked with the guy have all say the same thing. He's an arrogant jerk. That's who he is. Look at the circles he runs in. Prince Charles, all these royalty, Ghislaine Maxwell. Mark Carney's used to living the lavish life, making millions of dollars a year. He's not going to give up any of this power or any of the praise to anyone else. To lighten things up, I want to end this episode with this video. This is hilarious. You don't even really have to listen to what he's saying. I don't know what the cameraman's doing in here, but it's funny.
Our government has been clear. It's time to build, and we're making generational investments to build things right here at home.
So I'm going to start clicking through this. We're not going to watch all 2.5 minutes of this. You'll get the point here in a second.
We are guided by new strategies around things like critical minerals, defense spending, high-speed rail, and housing construction. But it's not just what we build. It matters how we build. Our government spends. We will prioritize companies and the use of Canadian materials and support local businesses and jobs. Strategic federal procurement.
Why the hell was he filming the other camera crews?
And support.
What is this?
Local businesses and jobs. Strategic federal procurements. This applies.
What is going on here? Why is the cameraman walking around?
Immediately to contracts valued at $25 million and over.
Why are we looking at these people?
But the policy will expand.
Because nobody cares what the Liberals have to say. That's probably what it is at the end of the day. This guy got bored, started freehanding the camera. That's amazing. Is that like a CPAC stream? Like, he literally went behind the rest of the, probably CTV, CBC, whatever, started recording them. That's amazing. That's golden. All right, that is going to do it for today's live stream. Thank you all for joining. I may or may not upload a video on the main channel about this Liberal MP situation. I kind of want more info to come out, to be honest with you, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Major news nonetheless. Thank you for joining on YouTube, Rumble, and Kick. Maybe eventually Facebook in the new year. I'm kind of waiting to see if they'll approve my account or not. I don't know, though. Anyway, have a great rest of your day or night, everybody. Adios.
And support local businesses and jobs. Strategic federal procurements. This applies.
What is going on here? Why is the cameraman walking around?
Immediately to contracts valued at $25 million and over.
Why are we looking at these people?